Welcome, race fans, back to SVR. This is the final race of our trip to Croatia for the Dragon Trail Seaside round 10 of our 13-round championship. This is the G2 championship, of course, and we have Delesi leading the way in the team standings by a very large, healthy lead. 214 points, plays 177 for Kimi's racing team. Coach Dave not too far away on 152, Bergstein on 134, with Mega Racing in unfamiliar territory, 5th in the championship in regard to the context of the rest of our league. JPI, Jann Interiors in P6, and Brokaga at the tail of the G2 standings. In the driver's standings, Pumpkin has 4 wins to his name, 2 further podiums, and 134 points total. Apex not found with quite the journey to try and challenge Pumpkin here for the outright title. Hasn't won since race 1, but returned to the podium on the last 2 rounds, so I think getting into a richer vein of form. JCGT returned to us after 2 races away last time out and has 79 points. Monkey Games had flirted with the podium in Red Bull Ring, and unfortunately only came home with 3 points, so I'm sure I'll be keen to put that right on 68. Iron Breo has 62. We have Black Evo on 58, moving up in the standings. Alongside with him, 2 points away, Apex Specs, 2 further points away, Quicks in P8, and DeLucas in P9. Kelvin, Motsky, and Gubanov round out the drivers' standings for the permanent members of the G2 roster as we get ready for the race. What we'll do, hopefully, at the end of today is take a look not only at the race itself, but at the combined championship standings as we finish up for this. But I can't look until I've done all of the races for a specific round. So we're get ready then for the race. This is how things looked after qualifying. Motsky qualifying at the back in the 612 in the red and black for Team Mega, with Lord Top Hat in P13, racing out of Australia. Lord Top Hat, a newcomer with us. Quicks for Bergstein qualifies in P12 with Gubanov in the 331 Team Mega entry, ready for a race here around the Dragon Trail scenic seaside resort. Kelvin the Boss, there's a lot of Canadians at the back today. Kelvin the Boss in P10 for Jann, and Liquid Gecko, the lowest place Kimi's driver, in P9. There's Breo in the Jag for Brokaga in the matte black finish Jag. And then we have Apex Specs in P7. Apologies for the cut-off camera angle for Apex Specs, but we get a nice close look at the Coach Dave car in P7. Monkey Games qualified in P6. I've done the same thing I've done over and over again and forgotten to check everybody's tyres. Let's just have a quick look. Hard tyres for Breo and for Liquid Gecko, and then hard tyres at the back for Lord Top Hat. Let's keep going. Medium tyres for everybody else so far. Citroën Libre, or Citroën Libre. I'm not sure if we are French or or Hispanic, but Citroën in P5. Again, another newcomer, new name for me there, starting on the medium tyres, as is DeLucas in P4. Then we go into the strongest qualifiers. Black Evo in P3 in the Nismo, with Pumpkin King beaten to that pole position, but he's elected to start on the hard tyres on the slightly dirty side of the grid, although the drivers tend to run a diagonal line out of the first corner that will clean up these grid spots reasonably well. Apex Not Found starts on pole position with the medium tyre as well. So it's great to see Pumpkin King having a little bit of a challenge here and getting ready then to defend his championship lead. At the moment, I think Apex Not Found is focusing hard on getting back to winning ways here in our G2 Championship. So we're ready to get underway. I hope you're ready. I just need to do my traditional change of audio setting because my eardrum is being absolutely blasted by my game sound. It doesn't affect the stream, so I won't be turning anything down on that side. Let me know about levels. Actually, I've had a request to turn everything up because the ads tend to be a bit shouty for those watching not on headphones. So anyway, let me know about that as we get ready to race. It is time for the final race around Croatia here in the SVR Simracing World Championship as we go lights out. It is drop the clutch and go, go, go. The Porsche on the hard tyres away very slowly as Black Evo storms into the lead, and Citroën Libre in the Ferrari making up places as well. It's Black Evo ahead of Citroën Libre, and then Apex Not Found defending hard with Pumpkin on the outside as they run into the Suzuka chicane. The leader is Citroën Libre in the Ferrari. What a debut here in G2 for our driver reserving for the Kimmis team. And then you've got Apex Not Found fighting with Black Evo here. The medium tyres for Apex Not Found on the Audi R8. You've also then got Pumpkin King on the cold hard tyres being challenged by De Lucas in the Jag as they head out of the Perisic corner and head towards the Kostelic slalom here. It is Ferrari, Nismo, Audi, then Porsche, Jaguar, Ferrari, Jaguar as they run through the order. And you've also then got, I think, who's that? Monkey Games has lost ground at the start, unfortunately. He's on the medium tyres, gone a different way to his teammate as they head down the hill towards the Modric turn 12. And Citroën Libre is having to defend hard from the 46. Black Evo trying to run through here. And then the drivers are going to be entering into a world of unknown as they head into the dirtbag dangle then for the first time of asking. Through we go. It is hold your breath stuff through the second part of this. And then already into the wall goes De Lucas. And he's going to get overtaken left and right again. As he's slow away, rubs that wall, loses momentum, and then in front of him his teammate is being attacked from behind. That's triple contact from Liquid Gecko, who feathers out of the throttle, lets the Jag go back past again. It looks like though everybody has avoided absolute disaster, possibly with the exception of Motsky, who's picked up damage then on the front of the car. De Lucas has decided to pit. What is that about? Let's just go back and see. It was just that the impact with the wall, I think it was indeed. So he picked up damage there, and let's see if there's an explanation for Motsky. Is it before? Oh, it's a long way back. So I think that's going to be within the first sector. He ran into difficulty as we joined the leader. This was down into the final corner. Ivanisevic and Black Evo getting ahead again there in the medium tyre shod. Nismo and positioning the car nicely. He's now got the inside line for the following corner, but the Ferrari coming back at him here on the medium tyre. Remember, Pumpkin King, leader of the championship, starts on the hard tyres and is still in 4th position. So these guys looking to try and build a gap, but it looks like they're going to be too busy with each other to build a good gap down into the first stint of this race. That's Quick's a little bit too quick through turn 1, or the first part of the Suzuka chicane, and that running out of room. That allows Gubanov to jump ahead. Motsky has gained 1 position from the back, but I think the damage is going to be pretty significant on the car. Citroën Libre ahead of Apex Not Found, and we've lost Black Evo through that sequence. Let's go back and see what happened to Black Evo. This is through the Ishii corner, and that was Citroën Libre getting a little bit unsettled through the apex, understeering into Black Evo, and it's the risk you take being on the outside of the driver, and that you're pressurizing. But they may be looking at that later after the race. Remember that start of lap 2 between Citroën Libre and Black Evo, who drops all the way down to P6 thanks to that. I don't know if he picked up damage. He's actually avoided damage, but there's quite a mountain to climb now to get back to challenging for the win as he was earlier on. Pumpkin King settling in now to the pace of the cars in front of him, not getting too aggressive, not worrying too much about it. We're going to go through the dirtbag dangle, renamed for our charitable cause this season, and see how the Porsche is handling here. There's a big lift going into part 3 of the dirtbag dangle as he focuses on getting the throttle down as early as possible, and then we get to see what's happening to the lead battle in front of us. Citroën Libre slightly earlier into the corner at the Ivanisevic final corner, and then powering out on the line. We've got Apex Not Found in 2nd place, Pumpkin King riding with him in 3rd place. Apex Specs is not too far away for Coach Dave. Could be able to help play a team game here for his former winning teammate who won round 1 and hasn't stepped onto that top step of the podium since that point. Apex Not Found, not quite at this stage able to open out any kind of gap against Pumpkin King. We shall see what happens when the tyre allocation and selection is reversed later on. Kelvin the Boss has to defend against Black Evo here, who dives down the inside into the Perisic corner. Now that's where he came unstuck, being in Kelvin the Boss's position on the previous lap. So there's no shortage of bravery from Black Evo. Perhaps a little bit of red mist there as Breo is taking a lot of risks, putting 2 wheels out on the dirt and the grass, and on the approach to the Kostelic slalom. Thanks to Senor Fak for the information and the suggestion to rename this by the Kostelic siblings, who have won multiple Olympic medals for the great nation of Croatia. Around the outside goes Black Evo. Kelvin the Boss, unfortunately, a little spin there. Let's see, was there avoidable contact perhaps at this point? Well, Kelvin the Boss, that looked to be like a bit of netcode or a bit of a lag spike there between the two of them. Kelvin the Boss may have lost that on his own. There's no contact on the replay, but there may have been from his perspective, and he's down with Lord Top Hat, his teammate now, as they run through. Lord Top Hat has damage as he's obviously made contact either with a barrier or a rival. He'll be suffering significant handling disruption on the nose of the Lamborghini Huracan. He's got his teammate in front of him on better tyres at this stage, faster tyres at least, but they will degrade a little bit earlier on. The drivers using the medium and hards between them. There is Motsky and DeLucas 14th and 13th respectively, but the battle at the head of the field continues down into the Suker chicane. This is lap 4. We go for a total of 50 racing minutes here in G2, so there's a lot of, we're about just over 10% of the race distance only so far, and Apex Not Found. He's looking to try and get that overtake done as quickly as possible, because of course his mirrors are absolutely full of bright white Porsche with the comedy moustache on the nose. So here we go, Kostelic slalom for the top 3. Apex, I think he'll not be too concerned that Pumpkin King would go for a silly move, because he's got a championship lead to defend, and of course a no score or a low score from Pumpkin King would open a window of hope for Apex Not Found to catch back in the championship. Of course, the drivers will start to be thinking about the rankings for next season as we build to the 2026 VR Sim Racing World Championship, but that is a distant thought at the moment. There's still lots of discussions going on, and Citroën Libre has a bit of a crash going through the dirtbag dangle. In fact, I think both drivers behind him made contact with him as he comes through here, and misjudging the run into the corner, and it was contact either side. Yeah, there goes Apex Specs making contact as he tries to turn away and regain control. Pumpkin King makes contact with him as well. Pumpkin King gets the overtake, at least on the approach into Ivanisevic corner, and manages to just rotate that Porsche beautifully in the final corner. Gets that down on the power, and there's a problem for Apex Specs behind, doing a little bunny hop over the curb. That would probably look good on a photo replay. Potentially, but yeah, ended up going a little bit wide just very early on the power. You can see him absolutely stamping on the throttle. He gets airborne, and thankfully for his sake, he's right on the pit lane entry. I think he'll get a 3-second penalty though for crossing the pit lane entry on the way in. Sadly for him, here is Breo and Monkey Games, who should come in with some good confidence after mixing it in those difficult damp conditions at the Red Bull Ring. Couldn't be much more different a race day today for the GT3s here, as Monkey Games is in that P6. He's got Breo ahead of him, who's on hard tyres, so he needs to make the pass pretty quickly. Liquid Gecko on the hard tyres, I would say, I'm not going to say being shown the way by his reserving teammate, but certainly might be thinking, you know, I need to probably get a little bit quicker than this. And we've got a change of position then between Apex Specs and Citroën Libre. Citroën Libre was level with Pumpkin King coming through, and it looked like Apex Specs just going through the space there that Pumpkin King left. And that was muscular. That was a little bit of paint traded between the two of them. Citroën Libres, welcome to SVR. A little bit of drivers messaging there between the two of them, perhaps. Apex not found. Probably not too interested in staying behind Citroën Libre after the incident coming through the dirtbag dangle. Apex Libre can count himself very lucky. Apex not found can count himself very lucky for not damaging that front splitter as he made contact with the back of the Ferrari. Same goes for Pumpkin King, you have to say, as well. But thankfully the closing speed not too great. And now Apex not found can move around in the mirrors of Pumpkin King. Doesn't want to get sucked into this into the pace of Pumpkin King on the hard tyres. Needs really at this phase of the race to try and either extend his pit stop as long as possible, or to make the overtake as soon as he can and build a gap. I have no doubt that with a clear air in front of him, Apex not found would be able to do that on the medium tyres, but the longer he spends behind Pumpkin King, the less of an advantage those medium tyres will bring him. Black Evo up to third position, gets past Citroën Libre. Did Citroën Libre have another problem coming through the chicane? He absolutely did. There's no doubting Citroën Libre's pace, but that's two of the first 5 laps that he's misjudged the dirtbag dangle, and you do have to kind of reset your brain a little bit after qualifying and go into race mode, really, when it comes to that chicane. I'm talking as if I know something about racing here, but I don't. I missed the race myself. This was Monkey Games into Ivanisevic corner, and that was very well handled. He's now on the medium tyres ahead of the hard tyre runner Breo, who almost loses the rear of the Jag and sends himself to the pit lane. But thankfully for his sake, that didn't eventuate. There's Apex Specs. I can't see if he actually got that 3-second penalty. I'm guessing he did. There it is. In fact, yeah, unfortunately, that was the consequence of crossing the pit lane entry. He's gone onto hard tyres. He's gone up to about 74% of fuel in the pit lane. And Motsky still at the back, but hoping to pick up some points here for Team Mega. And we join Apex Not Found as we follow championship leader and season rival so far, Pumpkin King, in front in the Porsche. Last race, it was there was a distinct leader's curse going on when everybody who led the race had a significant issue during the race. So far, that's not happening, although I guess Black Evo and Citroën Libre have both come unstuck at various points. This is a good run through the Kostelic Slalom for Apex Not Found. He'll be in range and striking distance as they head down into the Modric turn. We are going to go for it. And what a beautiful overtake from Apex Not Found. That was pretty special. I think we need to give that its due and have another look, perhaps from the TV camera, as we go down. And this was a very late move, just before Pumpkin King stamped on the brakes and left him absolutely no ability to defend. So great overtake, lovely and clean. And I think Pumpkin King will be giving a nod of respect, I think, in his VR helmet at that manoeuvre. And there is the consequence of just following in so close in the dirty air for Pumpkin King as he gets very sideways, but saves it from further embarrassment, I guess, as he runs through. So that is Apex Not Found, your new leader at the end of lap 6. Black Evo actually doing really well. He was down as low as 6th or 7th, back up to 3rd position, still on the medium tyres. and trying to make the best out of this stint that he possibly can. Pumpkin King's teammate Monkey Games in P4. I really hope Monkey can get himself a good result out of this one. He's managed an overtake here on Citroën Libre, who has damage on the front of the Ferrari. So whether he hit the wall again in the chicane, or that was the previous run through, but certainly he's damaged both axles on the car. It doesn't seem to be holding him up too much at this stage. He's on the medium tyres, just the same as Monkey Games in front, and I wonder if Citroën Libre this will start to bite this damage as he goes towards this Kostelic slalom, when you're really relying for the first time really on the downforce being generated, and he's of course very close to the back of the Porsche. So far though, not losing a great deal of time, Citroën. Over the hill, over the crest of the Cilic and Kukoc corners, down into Modric we go, and it does look like Monkey Games just extending the gap ever so slightly out of the corner. I feel like we should watch Citroën Libre as we go through the dirtbag dangle once again. Just got to pick his line, crank the steering a little bit more. He makes more contact with the wall in between turn 2 and 3 of that chicane, gets airborne for a moment on one side of the car, and then obviously is losing out. I think just pushing too hard at this stage and trying to impress the bosses at Kimi's, and for anyone who needs a drive. Of course, all our reserve drivers, until they are properly subsumed into a team, are free agents to take part in the racing, as long as they don't interfere too badly with championship drives. I think they are welcome to race for anybody and pick up team points. Gubanov is in P8 for Team Mega. He started on the penultimate row of the grid, and here he is in P8 at the moment, and no one has really made an on-schedule pit stop just yet. Kelvin the Boss in 9th, Lord Top Hat in 10th. Further back we've got Quicks in 11th, Apex Specs in 12th, DeLucas on his own here in 13th, and Motsky not far away on lap 7 from being lapped by the red Audi R8 here of the Coach Dave driver. Apex not found, whose gap to the car behind is growing as it needs to while he's on these medium tyres. There is a yellow flag. Unfortunately, that's Motsky headfirst into the barrier on the approach to Modric, and there again there's a driver with 2 wheels on the grass. In we go. Absolutely awful accident to just go completely head on in. Thought for a second there we might have had an equipment failure, and it is always a possibility. Drivers have issues with their equipment. You can see Apex not found through the dirtbag dangle, really looking very good. How is the Nismo handling? Should be a lot more planted through here. Yeah, it is. It doesn't jump anywhere near as high on the way through the corners. Monkey now in 4th place and leaning on the side of that car. That looked great from Monkey through the sequence. Citroën Libre has got Monkey Games directly in front. It has got, Motsky, who's just recently headed into the barrier. So he may be headed towards the pit lane. No, he's going to stick it out for another lap, see how bad the damage is, how much slower he will be running. That's Breo, the next one to pass the Mega Driver, as Liquid Gecko pits from P7 on the hard tyres, but with damage on the front of the car. May well have made contact with that chicane barrier sequence. We've got Lord Top Hat now promoted to 9th place, and Quicks will come through. Let's see the leaders then, as you've got a good gap of 2 seconds or more. Apex not found on Pumpkin King. That's not enough though to make up for the tyre delta, but of course if he can keep stringing consistent laps together, he'll be in obviously the best place that he can be for later in the race. Black Evo looks like he's got a little bit more pace underneath him now that he's free of other drivers. This is Citroën making its first race with us here, and behind him we've got Breo, and then just popping over the hill there is Motsky, I believe, because should be Kelvin the Boss most immediately behind these two. We're heading now back towards the chicane. Used to be called the Death Chicane. Has another tag onto the middle barrier there from Citroën Libre. Still correcting the car, coming through into the 9th lap here, but he has got that damage on the front wing. So you've got Breo chasing him down here in the Jaguar. Let's ride in the Jag. It's a nice sounding car. As into the pit lane comes Citroën. So that will be a bit of a relief to Breo, who can focus now on his driving and the trying to catch the Porsche in front, who's on the same compound of tyre. No, he's not. Monkey Games is on the medium. So Breo looking good here. The 2nd place driver on the hard tyres, second only to Pumpkin King. And I think in for a potentially good score of points then for his Bro Carga team. Further back, this is one Team Mega driver putting a lap on another. This is Gubanov coming through with Motsky with that damage, and unfortunately looked like he was heading for another potential accident through the final corner. I do know that Motsky had very little in the way of practice time for the race, so is doing a lot of learning in the crucible-like situation of a divisional race. It's very uncomfortable to be in that situation where you've got to take part for your championship hopes, but unfortunately you know that you're coming in with a lot of learning still to do, and with a distinct disadvantage on everyone around you. Gubanov, however, for Team Mega, looking at a good result from P7 at the moment. He's only on the medium tyres though, as Kelvin the Boss. The drivers will start to come in, and it's the end of lap 10, and Apex Not Found is in, and we're approaching, well, we're into the 17th minute of the 50-minute race so far. Pumpkin King leads ahead of Black Evo, who unsurprisingly in the Nismo has managed to extend an extra lap ahead of the Audi, ahead of the Porsche on the medium tyres. Kelvin the Boss extends as well. The Lamborghini usually quite light on its feet, and actually that's credit to Gubanov, because the Lexus tends to be a little bit heavier. It certainly hurt V8 Eater in his race. The higher tyre wear of the Lexus was unable to use as many of the softer compound options as the driver he was fighting with for the win. Kelvin the Boss in P5 runs through then, and Apex Not Found has re-emerged from the pits, now on the hard tyres. He's made an early pit stop, and he's got some really good clean air in front of him. The front splitter looking possibly a little bit scratched up, but all repairs have been made to the Audi here. Fantastic sound. I always like to listen to the Audi going past the camera angle. Just the great harmonics of that exhaust system. Down into Modric corner we go, and the in-laps and out-laps, very, very important, of course, because that's sometimes where the biggest difference is made. It looks like we need to attend to those catch fencing supports. Things looking a little bit rusty, a little bit uneven through there, but it is Seaside Resort, so salt in the air will rust. What an amazing detail here on Gran Turismo. Fictional circuit, and they had an uneven amount of rust on the pillars supporting the wire catch fencing. Just incredible. Right, into the pit lane comes the Nismo. This is Black Evo, and getting a healthy amount of fuel fitted, probably switching onto the hard tyres. We'll get that registered as he gets on the exit. There it is. So hard tyres on board. Slots in between P5 and P6, Gubanov and Monkey Games. Monkey Games, who recently made a pit stop as well, and he's out in front of, I think that's Motsky, who's been lapped, and then behind him Apex Specs. Down the inside we go. That was a blue flag situation. There is a yellow flag in front of these drivers. It's still being waved. Green flag to go now. I hope that wasn't Motsky getting into difficulty again. but it may well have just been driving off the circuit, or Gubinov even. Let's have a look if it was Gubinov. It looks like it was Gubinov with damage on the car now. Things are going a little bit wrong for Team Mega, and he's certainly on the grass there on the approach through Perisic. The damage was already done on board, so it may well have been through the Suker chicane or even the lap prior. Through goes Monkey Games through the Kostelic slalom, and Gubinov is feeling quite nervous about the handling of this Lexus. In fact, I have to say the front left tyre is looking very worse for wear. Stealing the apex to try and help get the car around the corner, but obviously having to take this really steadily now, and that is a little bit too long waiting for the pit lane. I think extending 2 laps later than one of the Porsche drivers did, so perhaps just going a little bit too long. Then you've got 2 Ferraris together here, Citroën Libre, who has pitted, Liquid Gecko, who has also gone into the pits, and their tyre balance is reversed. Oh, that's unfortunate. Then I think that was Motsky again having a problem going into the dirtbag dangle, or at least getting out of dirtbag dangle alive. Here we go, as things looking fairly normal here, hitting the brakes. Right, okay, I'm not quite sure how to call that one. Excuse me a second. Citroën Libre going very close to a driver who was losing control on the way through, taking his normal racing line, making no adjustments or lifts to go into the pit lane comes Gubinov. That is out of schedule. That's no, that is about certainly first pit stop. A little bit of damage to repair, but I think feeling okay at the moment about things. If you're going to pick up damage in the race, oh, that's a scratched up Ferrari in Liquid Gecko's car. If you're going to pick up damage, it's good on the lap, on your in lap, I suppose. As De Lucas is running in P11 at the moment. Quicks in 12th, Motsky in 13th. Let's go back and see about our leader. Well, our leader is Pumpkin King. Hasn't made a pit stop yet. There is Breo with a mistake through Modric. I just saw that on the track map as we went through. We'll have a second look at that. As down, is he going to touch the grass or the outside of the track on the way in? Or is he just asking too much of the hard tyre? I think that was probably the case, as he tries to get back into a good position here. If he's looking for a one-stop, he's not far enough into this race for the medium tyres to run to an end, I think. Probably needing to go into the second half of our race before thinking about that. Apex not found. Looks like he probably, with the fuel amount on board, is probably aiming for a 2-stop race here. Pumpkin King has to extend this a little bit further on the hard tyre. Again, I don't see him making just one more stop before the end of the race. Looks like he's managing that front tyre load wear quite well. 2 or 3 laps left on the car in terms of fuel. Breo pits off the hard tyre with 15 litres of fuel remaining. How bad were his tyres looking? Not too bad at all. But coming in before the halfway point, we're just ticking over the 23rd minute of the 50. And Black Evo remains in second position. Unfortunately, we've got another driver off and around. It's Black Evo's teammate Quicks, and I don't know if there was contact made, but down we go into Modric. That is a very late dive bomb from the Team Mega driver. It was clean at this point, and then Quicks is trying to take his usual accelerating rhythm on a very unusual part of the track on the way out of Modric, and a spin turn, and then a difficult Austin Powers 11-point turn to try and right the car. And be aware of drivers coming through on the track map. Sometimes it's easy to forget, but really you need your engineer here. You need to switch to your track map in your HUD and then decide what you're doing. But I think in VR, in a panic situation, easy to forget. And Quicks, a very unsafe rejoin, and thankfully he had ghosted, but gave the driver passing him absolutely no choice whatsoever about his line. This is Motski, his lap 13, the leader, just starting his 15th lap now, and has just gone into the red on the fuel. So I would have thought he will come in at the end of this 15th lap. He just ran a 1:45 that lap, so he's clearly taking it a little bit steady at this point, or having to. Contrast that with Apex Not Found, who ran a 1:40.9. That is 4 seconds faster than Pumpkin King at this phase of the race. That could be really important later on, because this old tyre slow lap phase is elongated in the hard tyre stint, and that is a big lap difference then between the two of them. I'm not quite sure why that changed so dramatically there. Apex Not Found is now reading 43.8 on his lap, so I don't think they were lapping anybody, but concurrent slow laps from both drivers, albeit a little bit quicker from Apex Not Found. So Pumpkin King's loss is not great, not massive, but Apex Not Found, I think he did perhaps tag the barrier on that lap 14 by the look of the front of the car. 204, 144 were his in-lap and out-lap respectively. What we see here from Pumpkin King, certainly will have to pit now to get rid of the hard tyres, because he's going to run out of fuel if he doesn't. So finally the leader comes into the pits, and he will get off those hard tyres just over the halfway point of the race. And Apex Not Found, when it is most important to be absolutely flawless, has hit the barrier again, and has come through the dirtbag dangle and ended up with matching damage on both sides of the front wheels. He's also got front splitter damage, unavoidable at that stage, and he will now obviously be a lot more hampered. A 43.8 was his lap 14, and what's it going to be coming through for lap 15? A 46.1. That is going to be a big problem then, as Pumpkin King comes out of his pit box. Then you've got Black Evo just at full racing speed down the start finish line, and we will see. Pumpkin King did comfortably get ahead of P3, and now the chase is going to be on. Apex Not Found has a long way to go with a very damaged car. Pumpkin King has a freshly tyre shod and completely undamaged Porsche, and a gap of some, I want to say 7 or 8 seconds between the two right now. But Apex Not Found, I doubt we'll get these hard tyres home, and I doubt we'll even want to. Probably looking at a 2-stop strategy here. Pumpkin King with a completely full tank of fuel. The only way the 1-stop strategy works here for anybody is if you stay away from the barriers and you are able to drive slightly easier, especially through that chicane. Black Evo can see P2 in front of him as they head down into Modrich corner. We've got the Porsche teammate for Delesi, Monkey Games, in P4, and he's got the teammate of Apex Not Found, Apex Specs, here in the Coach Dave Audi behind him as well. So it is Delesi versus Coach Dave all the way in our race so far. Just with one car in between of Black Evo. Coach Dave currently 3rd in the championship on 152 points, looking to try and get it at least into 2nd and depose Kimmy's racing team. Where is Kimmy's at the moment? Well, they are 7th with Liquid Gecko on his newer medium tyres, and we have lost Citroën Libra. So Citroën has gone, will not score points for the team. I don't know how well that will go down with the team if you're given a reserve seat, and I mean, it could well be a disconnection. Maybe nothing to do with a choice being given there, but unfortunately will not score today. So one car defending P2 in the championship, and he is significantly behind P3 in the championship pairing, the Coach Dave drivers of Apex Not Found and of Kelvin the Boss. Here is Motski coming through a lot safer this time through the dirtbag dangle. He's been given the blue flag here, stays on line, lifts the throttle, and the Jaguar able to go through pretty comfortably in the end. This is Apex Not Found leading the race. He has, I think that's Quick's Nismo between himself at least and Pumpkin King. And Pumpkin King only just entering the chicane. He's got to think though about whether he can get this car home. It's the blue flags being given to Quicks. Where was Black Evo? Did he just have a very slow run through the dirtbag dangle? I think he's okay this stage. And Monkey Games having a good lap 17 at this stage as well, and managing to keep his speed up and extend his gap to P5. Apex Specs. Apex Not Found now pits. I think he's decided that the damage is too significant on the front of the car. He doesn't like the hard tyres either. Can he get the medium tyres home? Repairs will be being carried out, but this is plummeting him down the order. He'll have to hope, I think, that the drivers between will have to pit as well. But he did put quite a short amount of fuel on the car last lap out. He's gone for about 80% full on the fuel. Is this going to be a set of mediums with 20 minutes to go? He's not confident. No, he's gone out for a second set of hard tyres. And it is looking like a decreasing chance of him trying to challenge here. I don't think he was ever trying to go to the end of the race on a one-stop like Pumpkin King appears to be. But of course, Pumpkin King now has the strategic advantage of being able to bail out of that strategy and put on a set of softs at the end. He's got enough fuel, so it would be a very quick tyre change pit stop, especially if he can stay out of the barrier. The Japanese characters on the back of the rear window of the Coach Dave car that have appeared recently, I don't know if you can quite make them out, the rear wing kind of gets in the way there, are the closest kanji characters apparently that can be found to represent Apex. They literally mean summit, as in the summit of a mountain. So that's what those are. I was reliably informed from Apex Specs earlier on, so he's made those adjustments. I haven't got any Croatian language or written text or sayings or anything on the cars for this race, but yeah, obviously I was hoping to see some red and white checker pattern on the cars for this round. I think that would have looked pretty sweet, especially on the Coach Dave cars, in recognition of the sporting colours of Croatia. I don't know if Senor Fak be kicking himself at that lost opportunity in his Delesi, because it probably would look pretty good on that too. Apex Not Found in 5th, Breo in 6th, Apex Specs ahead in P4 then on the hard tyres, running towards the end of his stint. How far away is Black Evo from Pumpkin King? Quite a way. Entry to exit of the Kostelic Slalom. Black Evo, 3 lapped cars around him, one of which is his teammate, who probably should get out of the way a little bit quicker for Black Evo's preference, maybe. You don't really want to enter a fast slalom section behind your teammate on worse tyres, but then unfortunately he goes a little bit late on the brakes into Modric. But Black Evo won't be staying on these hard tyres to the end either, so he's going for that odd strategy, I guess, an unusual one of going light fuel hard tyres for a short stint to then run 2 longer medium stints on heavier fuel. Here is Monkey Games in P3, watching all that unfold in front of him. This is the Delesi Porsche without the moustache on the front. That's very much a Pumpkin King thing. Blue flags fly then for our New Zealand racer, who races at 5 in the morning on a Monday morning. And imagine getting up at crack of dawn and then starting a sim race before your working week. So I think we all have mad respect for Monkey Games for doing that, for that level of commitment in the league. Apex Specs is in the pits on 0 litres of fuel, which is great to see. This is the closest thing you get really to the VR experience from a spectator's point of view. Monkey Games having to be a little bit patient here, but no real hurry, I don't think, as to his stint. He'll be heading in towards the pit lane soon enough. His hard tyres are just fine right now, but if he wants to catch Black Evo in front and make it a team 1-2, and I'm sure he does, it's time to really get a hurry on and pressurise Black Evo. Maybe if Black Evo sees the gap coming down, he might make a mistake. That's the Team Mega Kart just drifting across to the inside. That would be slightly nervous for Monkey Games as he looks down at the opportunity. It looked like there was a defence happening, and then I think Motsky or Gubanov have just feathered out of the throttle on the exit. Monkey Games at least able to take the dirtbag dangle chicane comfortably enough. That's Quick's Nismo in front of him. You have to manage with this, you have to live with a certain amount of slide going through there in these GT3s, particularly the Porsche. It looks like is a challenging car to get through the chicane. But Monkey and Pumpkin King, even if they could do a 1-3 here for the team, I think they would be absolutely made up. About 15 minutes to go then in the race. Perfect slot for some medium tyres for the drivers. At the moment on the medium tyres, running a one-stop strategy, I would estimate at the moment, is Pumpkin King, but he's going to be suffering a lot of slip, a lot of tyre deg, running a full tank of fuel on these medium tyres to get this car home to a finish. So the track will be rubbered in. The sun is close to golden hour before the sunset, so the track will be cooling a little, and that will help with the tyre deg as we run in this evening, approach to evening anyway, in Croatia at the Seaside. Black Evo in second place. Apex Not Found now running in third after Monkey Games pitted. Where is Apex Not Found at the moment? Here he is on his hard tyres, and he's approaching the Kostelich slalom. Monkey Games has exited the pits between two lapped cars again. So a little bit of work for him to do here. I think that's Apex Specs. I did him a disservice. That's not a lapped car. That's Apex Specs in P5 on tyres that are up to temperature. And I'm assuming, in the Audi at least, planning to run to the end on the fuel, although he's only got about 52% of fuel on the car at this stage. Monkey Games refueled just now and has ended up with about 78% fuel left on the car. So either the Porsche is using 50% more fuel than the Audi, or Apex Specs is under fueled to the end of this race. We shall see. Monkey Games may have put too much in, but that looks about accurate to Apex Not Found's amount, perhaps. Certainly Apex Not Found has a lot more fuel on board than Apex Specs this stage. That is Quicks getting out of the way, and may well get out of the way of both cars here in fourth and fifth. There comes Apex Specs. Now he's going to slot in between them and just cause a bit of palpitations there. Oh, that is not good at all. And I think that is not being helped by Quicks here. Let's have a second look at this from outside of the car. As yeah, unfortunately, that's the Nismo of the lapped car getting into Monkey Games, and then Apex Specs getting into Monkey Games as well. Not letting him by. I guess he feels at this point like that wasn't my problem that you were run into by the lapped runner. But I think we'll be perhaps considering an appeal there to the stewards. That's not the kind of action that we are looking for from our lapped runners. If you're going to let the cars by on the straight before the final corner, then don't be in a situation where you could end up running into them on the inside line. He may have been looking in his mirrors and judging the distance to the Coach Dave car behind, but Monkey Games, P5, has been as high as third. Was thinking perhaps for a moment about a 1-2 for the team. Finds himself now in fifth place, not in small part due to Quick's behaviour while being lapped. Black Evo in P2. Apex Not Found running in P3 at the moment. Black Evo will be headed towards pit lane probably at the end of the next lap, and he will probably have something in the region of 10 minutes to go. Now, is there a chance that Black Evo could run this race medium, hard, soft as the sun will set on our Croatian round behind the mountains here. Is a very interesting consideration. In fact, the sun will not set behind the mountains. The sun will set over the sea because this track is due west facing. Get it right, Webbo. Pumpkin King running in the 1 minute 40.7 mark, almost around 40.8 in fact, rounded up, but putting in some great laps, including the fastest lap, which does count in the GT3s. Lap 19, a 139.931 for the mustachioed Porsche. It is very, very good. You can see on the back of the rear wing the slogan of the Delesi racing team and logistics company as well, of course. Black Evo P2, just heading through Modric. So Pumpkin King's lead is quite significant here. He's just made the one pit stop. I think that might be his plan through to the end. Apex not found. Big gap then for the top three at this stage. But Black Evo will be coming in, and Apex not found may well get back onto the second step of the podium at least, making a step into the right direction. His previous two results have been third places, and he's never actually been second so far in the championship. So that will be a new one, I believe, for him. Pumpkin King, though, looking pretty comfortable at this stage. Of course, this track and this round, round of 5 races we've had here, really the lesson of Croatia has been, don't take anything for granted, because disaster looms, especially through this chicane we've just been on. Every lap there is the chance, as it looks like Apex Specs was slow away there. This is the 612 mega kart getting out onto the grass. Both cars go for the overtake, and I think in part that was a slower run through the chicane. Wow, great racing between the two, as Apex Specs was outside to inside, and Monkey Games was right there with him. It was a lot cleaner than the last incident we saw that involved quicks as well. But yes, the mega car was half on, half off the track at that time as well. I'll be feeling quite nervous, I imagine, at this point. These two vying over 4th place as they lap the slower runners. I want to say that was probably Gubanov there behind these two. Let's just check that out momentarily. This is Breo in P6. Liquid Gecko running in 7th place. Kelvin the Boss in 8th. These cars very much on their own here. DeLucas in P9. There is Gubanov, so no, it was Motsky. Gubanov puts his own 2 wheels off the track there in the 331 between Modric and the Dirtbag Dangle. Blue flags for him being given to Apex Not Found in that 2nd place. So that is P10 being lapped by 1st and 2nd places. That's Black Evo, who has pitted now. And how far away is Black Evo? Not very far away at all. And he has gone onto the soft tyres. The first time we've seen the soft tyres today. So a very interesting strategy from the Bugstein Transport Service cars. Here is Apex Specs, one of our original 2024 VR Simracing World Championship sponsors, Bugstein, which is fantastic to have them and their loyalty on successive years. We'll be making our plans for our title sponsorship in the off season, but for now we have all of our title sponsors fixed. There are sponsorship opportunities though for individual events or streams, or sponsor opportunities for me personally if you'd like to feature on my race streams as well. So do get in touch. Make sure you're subscribing to @SVR-Racing. And visit the merch store as well. Support the league in any way you can, and one of those ways that you can do that is by visiting the merch store and buying yourself something very cool. Please hit all the good buttons on the bottom of this video as well today. I really appreciate all your support in any way that you possibly can. And if that is leaving a playlist running overnight for my watch time metrics, then all the better. But whatever you can do, that'd be very much appreciated. Liquid Gecko in 7th. Kelvin the Boss running in 8th in the Jamplacht interior car. Beautiful, beautiful livery. And we have the Jaguar that the Brokaga team petitioned for to change their car. They didn't like the Supra, and it wasn't producing great results. And certainly you'd have to say Brokaga team have been a lot more competitive since changing to the Jaguar, which seems to be enjoying a good run here at the moment for the BOP. Certainly a lot better than the Supra, which was a surprise because a lot of people thinking that the Supra was coming into the season would be one of the hot favourites. The sun is really setting very quickly here on our race. This is the Buckstein Transport Service driver quicks, and then Motsky in P12. It's always worth carrying on because we've had a couple of disconnections, and Motsky will not finish 14th, but he may well finish in 12th position. How about that one from Pumpkin King, rounding the dirtbag dangle and fully sideways. Oh, I think I want to watch that again. Let's have a look as he's been ragging this Porsche, catching a lot of turn 3 curb. Cool as you like though in the cockpit. A beautiful four-wheel slide on the way through. You can definitely have a style point for that one, Pumpkin King, because it's great to see Pumpkin King still pushing on the 45th minute here of our endurance race. But frankly, looks like he's ready for promotion to the G1 League next season. But still the fastest lap, a 1:39.931. I do wonder if Black Evo will be able to challenge. Here comes the Audi. Contrast this with the Porsche coming through these turns. Just so much more planted than the Porsche, which is a rear-engined, rear-wheel drive car, of course, as all Porsches are. And then the Nismo getting a little bit sideways as well. The Nissan Nismo front-engined car. The Audi, technically a mid-engined, I believe. But the soft tyres, how were his lap times looking? 1:41.7 for the Nismo so far. Let's see him through to finish out lap 26 as the fabulous atmospheric effects continue. A 41.4. He's still a second and a half away from the outright fastest pace that the race has seen so far from Pumpkin King, and he's running the soft tyres on low fuel. So it just goes to show how quick Pumpkin King is driving. And Pumpkin King giving up quite a bit of practice time the week prior to this race to take part in the S2 Super Formula race, and representing himself and the D'Alessi squad very well indeed in that one as well. Class is permanent, it seems, for Pumpkin King. Here is Apex Specs, who looks like the team are going to take good points here today, and Monkey Games following him in the Porsche. Should still mean that D'Alessi outscore Coach Dave, certainly outscores second place team at the moment, Kimmy's. I wonder if we will see Coach Dave accruing enough points to overhaul Kimmy's racing team before the end of the season. I don't think they will at the end of this race, but we shall see. In we go to Modrich corner, and then you get that great exhaust overrun sound out of the Audi as well, directly in front. I don't think Monkey Games will be thinking about that. Depends how high his opponent's sound effect he's got turned on his headset, and he was sideways. The Audi in front was sideways. They are certainly pushing very hard indeed. Let's see them as they go through Ivanisevic corner. Do you know, I never had a problem with that name until Senor Fakis said it's a difficult one for people to pronounce, and then I've struggled ever since. He's got in my brain. Monkey Games couldn't quite keep the overtake there, but this is probably the closest battle on the grid. Certainly their track map indicators are showing them as very close to each other, and time is running out, and Monkey Games goes down the inside in the Suzuki chicane. Apex Specs leaving a good gap to the Apex for Monkey Games to have a go, and in so doing manages to keep the lead in that fourth position at the moment, and rounding the Perisic corner, turn 6, an important one to get the power down as early as you can. Behind them, that is Breo, is starting to catch these two. Breo in P6 on the medium tyres is starting to catch Monkey and Apex Specs. Possibly because they are taking time out of each other. You have to think. Monkey Games, P5 then. Downshifting through Modric. Just following the helicopter. And the helicopter gets so low here, you think you're in a war movie when the when you exit the tunnel sometimes. His helicopter is hovering directly in front of you. Here's that tunnel. Let's see. There's an opportunity perhaps for Monkey Games as they go into that Ivanisevic corner. Apex couldn't get the performance at the front end of the car that he was asking for. Also watching the mega car that was in front of them, now behind them. He was going very wide through Ivanisevic. And Monkey Games hugging the inside line now. But it looks like Apex Specs has the better top speed. Got on the power a tiny bit earlier. And they were this close on the previous lap as well. In through the Suker chicane they go. And it's exactly the same result as we saw last time round. I must just check out where Pumpkin King is. He's on his 29th lap. We are 20 seconds away from the 50th minute. So I'm not sure. This will be marginal, and Pumpkin King may decide to delay the end of this lap. I think he is releasing cars in front of him because he doesn't fancy going for another lap here. I've just seen that my controller's just running out of battery. Here comes Pumpkin King then to win comfortably. You have to say, very comfortably indeed, in Croatia. Congratulations to him for a great performance. Let's see. Here comes Apex Not Found, just getting into the Ivanisevic corner now. So that was a significant margin of victory for Pumpkin King. Apex Not Found, as the sun sets over the Seaside Resort, clinches second place. He hasn't had a second place yet this season, so he puts that one right and builds towards hopefully challenging for the win next time. Black Evo with a great run there on a different strategy, just getting enough life out of the soft tyres at the end in P3. Apex Specs and Monkey Games will take a drag race to the finish. Out of the final corner they go. Headlights ablaze as the sun is completely going, and Apex Specs finishing in 4th ahead of Monkey Games by less than 1/10 of a second. Breo watching on and finishing in 6th as well. Great result for him and the team there. It really has been about Bugstein, DeLessi and Coach Dave today. Liquid Gecko will be the last one to cross the line in P7. DeLucas has secured 8th. Kelvin the Boss in 9th. Gubanoff in 10th. Quicks in 11th. Motsky finishing in 12th. And definitely just rewards for persistence here today. But your winner is Pumpkin King ahead of Apex Not Found and Black Evo. So I mentioned that we might take a look at the combined championship settings. Just going to clear that off my collection and head out. So we're going to go into the check out. I want to make sure that we look at the round information first of all. So just taking a look then at the result from this race while it's fresh in the memory. I just want to go through and this is, I'm just navigating the website directly here on the stream. So we'll just see if any penalties were showing. That is the incident then for Quicks. He picks up 3 points on his license and a 15-second penalty overall. Finishes in 11th, but that looks like it was for the blue flag incident that we mentioned as he went into Monkey Games, possibly you could say denying Monkey Games the opportunity to claim that 4th place that he probably felt he was deserving of. Let's go to the Master Championship standings then and have a look at how things are looking. It's 1130 total points for DeLessi ahead of Mega Racing 1075. So DeLessi looking very good for this championship overall. Kimmy's Racing Team way back on 8.76, but has a good gap to Bergstein Racing in P4. Coach Dave not far away in 5th place, Brokaga in 6th in their new Jaguar, helping towards that. And Jan Placht Interiors at the bottom of the standings at the moment on 6.65. So we can see how that has changed over the course of the season. And one of the things that I'm looking at here is that Delesi, I don't feel, have ever been as far ahead of Team Mega as they are right now. So Team Mega with a job to do to take this combined team standings to the finish of the season. 3 rounds to go. 6 race weekends. Stay tuned on the channel. Make sure you're subscribing to this one and to SVR Racing. But for now, folks, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for watching and for supporting the channel in any way you can. We will be back live, of course, on Sunday, and we will catch you on the next race day.